Dave Bryan, who built the spaceship, especially.
Yeah.
We had a shot of it in space at the end. They didn't do that in the film, did they? I thought, well, while we've got it, let's do a space shot. Oh gosh, who else was there? I'm probably going to forget people here. Michael Wisher, and I think it was his last recorded role.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did anything on stage after that, but he died not long after that. It was such a shame. He was brilliant. I worked with him a few times, and I was very upset when some of you may have the DVD that was mastered where they accidentally left the front bit off of the Dalekmania on one of the DVD releases, and someone said to me, I think it might be because they thought that he was a bit of a kiddie fiddler, that he was a bit scary. I hope not. It turned out it was just a mastering error.
Yeah.
And apparently if you've got that version, I've never tried this, but if you've got that version, if you chapter backwards, you'll find the beginning of the programme. It jumps into chapter 2 for some reason, so they didn't cut it off for some mad censorship thing. But
so
yeah, it was great.
Are you actually a fan of films?
Of course,
yeah.
of course. And I mean, when I was 4 years old, I never saw the films when they were at the cinema. I saw them when they came on TV. While Pertwee was still playing the Doctor, some of you, the older ones, may remember the excitement of them coming on television. But when I was 4, back in '65 when the first film came out, my dad took me out to Selfridges, which used to be a Christmas treat to go and meet Santa Claus. But during the height of summer, he took me out there to meet a Dalek. Now, I met this big red Dalek, and it came through the crowds. They'd obviously let one go on the sort of shop floor to entice people to go upstairs to where the exhibition was. So I was in awe of this big red Dalek, and I remember clutching onto my dad's trouser leg and hiding behind him as the Dalek went past. So it's been ingrained in me since then. But he never took me to see the films at the time, but caught up with them all those years later.
So what do you think is, obviously there's a big difference between Christian's Doctor and Hartnell's Doctor, I said in the beginning, but why do you think that these, in particular these two kind of films, when there are so many kind of TV to move to film or going on time, why do you think these two have actually stood the test of time and they're now being launched on Blu-ray?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're big, they're brash, they're colourful, they're simplistic. My son was in the audience somewhere. He watched them. That was the first Doctor Who I showed him because it's very child friendly. It works for a family audience. The purists who love Doctor Who for what it is on television, some of them like to occasionally meet people and they don't really like the films.
Yeah.
But I think they've got their own following. You just have to see them in context.
Yeah.
It's obviously my big thing is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and the purest Hitchhiker fans don't like the movie of that. But the youngsters who've never seen any other version love it. So, and I think that it works in the same way the Dalek films work as a good intro to get very small children into it. I did have an experience. I was around at a friend's house, and they had a very small child sitting playing with something in the middle of the floor when we were chatting, and I had a clip of something I was going to show this person, and it came up on the screen. Now this little kid had never seen a Dalek in their life, and the Dalek came on the screen, and instantly the kid was captivated, and then the voice came out, and it was stunning to watch. The kid just, without even thinking about it, walked slowly backwards across the room and hid in a cupboard. and that kid was probably less than 3, but it had an effect.
Yeah.
And that's what we all remember, those of us that have still got the little child inside, sort of we look at it.
In this room, I think.
But they're beautiful, look at that.
I know.
That's a marvellous... Is that Steve? Is he here?
Yeah, Steve somewhere.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Beautiful Dalek. Too tall. They look too tall. Oh dear.
Can it move?
Fight.
Can it move?
Not
Can it
yet.
move?
Well, I don't know. It might do when we've all gone, and it's down.
He's got to get home somehow. Has he got his Oyster card?
Oh,
Getting the stairs, the escalators, that'd be fun.
You told us a kind of narrative within the boy Josh going to the cinema and stuff like that. I mean, have you kept in touch with Josh?
I met up with Josh again earlier this year.
Yeah.
He's now
Is he still acting?
27, I think now. He's just started back into acting again.
Brilliant.
And he's a right little geezer now. He's into his football and booze, and he's not grown up to be
That's
what I
really
expected.
child.
He said he was a Doctor Who fan, but then he said he was also a Jurassic Park fan and all the things that were current at the time. But he's not really died, and he doesn't really remember a great deal. And what he mostly remembers about 30 years in the TARDIS has been freezing cold down by Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
And but no, he hasn't seen it for a long time. But he's a nice fella, and we're going to keep in touch. We've done the Facebook thing, so we're going to stay in touch. And I expect, because he came to a Phantom Films event in Chiswick back in January or February, and I think he enjoyed that, and he and his girlfriend, she seems to keep him in check. I've got a feeling they'll be popping up at various other events in the future because he quite enjoyed it, even though he doesn't really remember a great deal about it, but he's a good lad. Yeah.
And what would you think, I mean, everybody goes on about Peter Cushing and the fact that he's the forgotten doctor, and people kind of gloss over it, shame. Do you think that he does deserve more recognition, or do you think that a lot of people say, well, it's not canon, so it's not really...
I think it's up to each individual fan to make up their own mind. No, of course it's not canon. I don't think that at all. I just see it for what it is. It's a great piece of 60s hokum. I think it's beautifully designed, brilliantly lit. I love the set, especially in the first film. I love the sets of Dalek City and sliding apart the mountain and all that. That was wonderful. I love the design of the spaceship. I don't care if you can see the strings. I wasn't in here. Could you see the strings? Yeah. So they didn't do wire removal or anything. No, that'd be a sacrilege, wouldn't it? You've got to leave it as it is.
Absolutely.
So no, I just like them for what they are, and the music and everything. I had them. How many others did this? Tape record them off the telly back in the 70s. Yeah, when before the days we had videos.
Yeah.
We put a cassette recorder microphone up to the telly and record it. And getting everyone in the room. So I think there's one where you can hear me having a fight with my sister in the back there. Shut up. And then, of course, play it back endlessly again and again and again until, come on, how many people know the film's off by heart?
Yeah.
It was about 20, yeah.
Yeah.
You just get to know it, and it's in the bloods, and drive my wife mad when it comes on telly. Whatever the next scene is, I'll start reciting it. Throws things at me and tells me to shut up.
Well, so time unfortunately has run out on us.
Yeah, it was lovely to see you all. I'm glad you got to see the clips, because that would have been a crushing disappointment if you hadn't got to see them.
Big round of applause again. That wraps up today.